85% of you said that you would do it more often if it was as easy as applying a serum, and that may well indicate that lots of you are not doing it enough. We are, of course, talking about exfoliation. All week long on our social media, we've been talking about the perils of not exfoliating, and here for the first episode in the third series of the AlumierMD Night In, we're talking about the multiple dermatological benefits of effectively exfoliating. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined for the first episode in our third series by aesthetic nurse and skin specialist Rosy Boulton. Rosy, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Alumier Night In.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Vicky, for inviting me on this new series. Yeah. I'm super excited. Thank you.
It's going to be great, and it's such an interesting topic to dive into. And our posts on social media so far this week have just had such brilliant engagement. So many people asking lots of questions because exfoliation is quite a diverse topic. There are so many ways that you can exfoliate. You can exfoliate at home. You can have a practitioner exfoliate for you in clinic. And there are obviously lots of different ways of doing the exfoliation. You've got mechanical exfoliation and chemical exfoliation. So I'm really excited to sort of dive into the topic. The title is The Benefits of Effective Exfoliation. And obviously you and I know those by heart as sort of licensed skincare professionals. And as such, would you agree that you can kind of tell from a distance, just by looking at somebody, if somebody has a really good exfoliation routine or not?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so what would be those what would be the symptoms of somebody that you can tell doesn't have a good exfoliation? What are the perils of not exfoliating regularly enough or effectively?
I'm quite surprised, actually, Vicky, about the 85%. That's quite a large number of people who are maybe not aware of the benefits of exfoliating. So when clients come to see me, and they're all ages, all ladies and gentlemen, I always explain that the benefits of exfoliating is just a good basic start to your skincare. And the benefits would sort of be more visible on the skin, because if you don't exfoliate, the skin tends to look quite dull, lackluster, sort of a bit rough texture, and you want to get rid of that dead skin, so that you can be applying the serums perhaps that you'll be investing in, the products that you'll be investing in, to help your skin look so much healthier and sort of more sort of radiant and just fresher.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you have people coming into your clinic to talk to you about their skincare concerns, I would imagine that exfoliation is one of the things that you would start talking to them about initially. We've already heard that not exfoliating can cause dull skin, lackluster skin, and it can be preventing the skin from looking luminous and radiant. But of course, it also contributes to skin conditions like acne, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. The dead skin cells, which sort of accumulate over time, can actually clog up those pores. And if you don't get rid of those clogged pores, it can then obviously build into an acne kind of feature on your skin. So definitely exfoliating would definitely help those problem type skins.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are lots of guys that are watching this as well, and something that can happen quite commonly for them, especially if they clean shave regularly, is ingrown hairs. And of course, a build-up and accumulation of dead skin will contribute to those ingrown hairs. Do you see that a lot in your clinic?
Yes, I do. I do have some gentlemen that come in with that exact problem. And again, that can be caused by the lack of exfoliation on a regular basis. So yeah, I definitely explain to people who come into my clinic with that sort of an issue the benefits to exfoliating that skin.
Yeah, and so what can be achieved with effective exfoliation? And we'll kind of dive into what effective exfoliation looks like in a little while. But if somebody really gets it right, what sort of symptoms do you see on their skin? What does their skin look like?
So someone who regularly exfoliates, it's so visible on the skin. The skin just looks so beautifully clear. There's a beautiful tone and texture to the skin. You can notice perhaps that they're wearing less makeup than they would ordinarily be. But in general, the skin just looks brighter, more luminous, and just healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. And effective exfoliation can also make the skin plumper, can't it? By getting rid of that dead skin, you're supporting the production of lots of lovely new skin underneath. So the skin can become more translucent, it can be plumper, it can be more hydrated. You're obviously going to see a reduction of things like lines and wrinkles. You're going to see an improvement of clarity of acne lesions. Pigmentation can be improved for a more even skin tone. And then, of course, you mentioned it earlier, the fact that when you don't have that dead skin sitting on the surface of the face, there's no sponge-like cells that will be gobbling up all of your expensive serums before they have the opportunity to penetrate into the skin. You see hundreds of patients a year, Rosy. I mean, probably thousands. And I know that you've helped so many of them achieve their skincare goals. And so which of the two do you see the most commonly? Do you see somebody coming in to say, I've got, really radiant, glowing skin, but I'd like help with X, Y, Z? Or do you majority see people that come in with that dry, dehydrated, flat, rough, and sort of dull complexion?
No. The majority of my clients come in to see me because they need help, they need my advice, they need educated, basically. So they do tend to be those that, like you've just said, have the sort of dry, dehydrated, rough-looking, lumpy, bumpy type skins. A few of my clients who tend to sort of know the benefits of good skincare come in and just want to continue that sort of progression of good skincare. But unfortunately, because a lot of us tend to be sort of unaware of a good skincare routine, and especially the benefits of exfoliating. So I do tend to see those that need more of my help with regard to exfoliation.
Yeah, and I think that we would probably see that across the board in clinics up and down the country. I think definitely a lack of awareness of the benefits of exfoliating would be one reason that perhaps we're not a nation of glowing, radiant, gorgeous people walking around the streets. What other reasons do you see that people might not be experiencing the radiant luminosity that their skin has the potential to have?
I do hear in clinic a lot of people saying that they feel exfoliating their skin's a little bit fiddly, a little bit tricksy. They don't know how often to exfoliate, maybe. And there's just so much available nowadays. They're totally confused as to go with just a simple exfoliator, or they'll look on the shelf and they'll see all these amazing products that do all this exfoliating deep down within the skin, but there's a lack of clarity and a bit of confusion as to what will benefit the skin. So there may be some lazy people amongst us who feel that exfoliating can be a little bit time consuming. They just can't get it into their routine on a regular basis. So quite a few reasons, really.
And do you think some people are still nervous of exfoliating? Worried that it might make their skin a little bit sensitive or dry?
Yes, definitely. There are those with those types of sensitive skins, and they do feel a little bit frightened to sort of bring in exfoliation into their routine on a regular basis. But, skin is skin at the end of the day, and that your body will continually sort of produce those dead skin cells which need to be removed to get that beautiful skin, whether you've got sensitive skin or normal skin. So there are ways around exfoliating if you have sort of a sensitive type skin.
Absolutely, and that would definitely be overcome with modern exfoliation formulas, wouldn't it? Because there's so much available now. So how do you see that modern day formulas could make exfoliating easier and more appealing for people of all skin types and conditions?
Right, so modern day exfoliators, we've still got the mechanical scrubs, which were very popular back in the day and still are with a certain generation that I've noticed coming to the clinic. But your more sophisticated exfoliators now will do an amazing job at exfoliating the skin deep down without you even knowing it. And, you know, it can be in sort of a liquid, sort of a nice, gentle liquid format, which may contain sort of just gentle pH type chemicals. And we're talking about good chemicals here, you know, like lactic acid and salicylic acid. So there's plenty of that sort of sophisticated product out there to exfoliate the skin.
So one of the things that we've mentioned is that there is a difference between the types of exfoliation that can be performed at home. You can do yourself at home. One of them is mechanical and the other is chemical. So in short, mechanical is anything that physically removes the dead skin from the face. So after the procedure, the dead skin has gone. So that can be done with scrubs, it can be done with dermaplaning where you shave, it can be done by buffing the skin, you can use a brush, but it's literally where you're scraping the dead skin away. So it's gone after treatment. Chemicals work with ingredients that, rather than removing the dead skin, they break the bonds that hold them to the face and body. And that means that they will naturally come away in time. And the nice thing about chemical is that you can go as superficial or as deeply into the skin as you like. So you can go superficial with kind of a really light toner, or you can go a little bit more deeply into the skin with a professional grade chemical peel performed by a licensed skincare professional. Chemical exfoliators also have the ability to get into more areas of the skin. So say, for example, you've got lactic acid, which will exfoliate the surface. You've also got salicylic acid, which will exfoliate inside the pores. So if one of the reasons that you want to exfoliate is because of acne lesions or ingrown hairs, and you're there with a scrub, it's just not going to do the trick because it doesn't contain the acids that are going to get into the pore and address the problem. So chemicals are so diverse, and there's nothing to say within a weekly skincare routine that you can't do mechanical and chemical. And I think that you really hit the nail on the head by saying that it can work really hard for you almost without you knowing it. Because I think historically, you know, if you say to most people, oh, a really good exfoliator, you might jump to that really coarse, granular scrub, you know, that really sort of gets into the skin. And there's a lot happening when you go through that process. You're physically putting in a lot of effort. You know, there's a lot of sensation that's happening. It can be quite tender. So it feels a bit theatrical. But actually, modern day exfoliators take shape in toners, serums, face masks. You know, it can be done with diamond head, brushes, crystals. You know, there's so many tools and techniques out there with which you can exfoliate. And some of it can be really enjoyable, can't it? Like some of it can be done with a face mask. You just lie back in the bath and allow the skincare product to do the work for you. Or, like we said right at the very beginning of this session, it can be as simple as applying a serum. And so all of the things that kind of we've just heard and mentioned are of course within the AlumierMD exfoliant range. So you stock Alumier within your clinic, and so why don't we spend a little bit of time going through each of the 4 exfoliators by AlumierMD and kind of how you talk to them, how you talk to your patients about them. So would you agree that the Bright and Clear solution is the most diverse and readily available of our exfoliators? And how do you talk to your patients about the Bright and Clear solution?
Yes, so the Bright and Clear solution is a liquid toner, which not only acts as a double cleanse, but it's a beautiful exfoliant. And I find that majority of my clients who are familiar with toners are looking for a new toner to try. When they come into my clinic, obviously, I'll talk about the Alumier Bright and Clear. This is such a gentle exfoliator that contains 2 wonderful little acids, gently exfoliates the skin, and it can be just applied on a wet pad if you've got a normal skin, or if you tend to have a more sensitive skin, then maybe just apply it on your hand and just sweep it across your face and let it do its job. But it's so gentle that it's amazing at removing the dead skin cells that are just accumulating on your skin. and it's just a wonderful way of including an exfoliating treatment into your routine.
Yeah, brilliant, because I think most people are used to using a toner, aren't they? Even if that's just a rose water or a hydration spritz. The concept of using a liquid solution after a cleanser is really familiar to lots of people. And I would totally agree that swapping out, a sort of non-functioning toner for something that contains the acids that are within the Bright and Clear solution, and that is, of course, 2% lactic acid. And that is an ingredient that will help to dissolve the bonds that keep dead skin cells attached to the face and body, so no scrubbing required. And then 0.25% salicylic acid, which is actually able to get inside the hair follicle and exfoliate that sebum on the inside. So you've got a dual action exfoliation there on the surface of the skin and on the inside of the pores. And like you said, all you need to do is put it onto a bit of cotton wool and sweep it across the face as you would a toner, but because of the ingredients within the solution, it's going to work so much harder than your regular toner, exfoliating both the surface and inside the pores within the skin. So we heard about how you might use it for a sort of normal to sensitive skin, where you put it on damp cotton wool. You can, like you mentioned, put it onto the palms of your hands and press it in. And of course, for people that have got that slightly thicker, more resilient skin, that needs a really good exfoliation, perhaps if makeup isn't sitting on the skin quite so well, you can sort of feel that rough texture to the skin. You can also put it on rough gauze, and you'll be able to get rough gauze from any high street pharmacist or chemist. And that will then combine chemical exfoliation, so the process of the acids dissolving the bonds, with a little bit of mechanical exfoliation, which is the physical removal of those dead skin cells with the fabric and material. And we've seen people get amazing results with that, as I'm sure you have as well.
It's certainly a very, very popular product in clinic, with all ages, in actual fact. And I'm always trying to sort of promote people to introduce, if they have never used a toner before, certainly start to introduce the toner into their routine. And the feedback is amazing. I get wonderful feedback from clients and who fall in love with the product once they've started using.
Yeah, great. So then the next exfoliator by AlumierMD is the Lotus Scrub. And so how do you talk to your patients about the Lotus Scrub and the benefits that it can offer into the skin?
So with the Lotus Scrub, it has the appearance of some mechanical scrub, because it's got some beautiful natural little beads in there, which is very environmentally friendly. And I tend to sort of promote this to the younger clientele who still love to use an old-fashioned beady scrub, and perhaps are a little bit more aware of the cost of a chemical exfoliator, for example. So this scrub, like you explained earlier on, has more of a sort of a physical action on the skin, because you just place a small amount onto your hand on a damp face and scrub away. And this scrub will leave your skin looking really radiant, really shiny, and just for healthy looking if you apply it on a regular basis.
And the biodegradable beads within the Lotus Scrub, which are of course happy for the environment, good news for the environment, are lotus seed powder, and there's a little bit of microcrystalline cellulose as well, which is extracted from plant cells. And so it's very, very soft and gentle on the skin, isn't it, the Lotus Scrub?
It is, yes. Like I said, it just leaves your skin feeling really soft and smooth and very, very healthy looking.
And so then kind of pro tips on how to use this product. You mentioned that you would put it onto damp skin and massage for a little while. Do you recommend to some of your patients that they can use it on dry skin, again, if they just need a little bit of a harder hitting exfoliation?
You can do if your skin tends to be of a sort of a thicker consistency. Just again, apply a small amount and scrub away across your face. And like you said, it'll give you just a little bit more of a powerful scrubbing action.
Yeah.
Again, leaving the skin feeling really smooth and healthy.
Yeah, fabulous. Wonderful. Right. So then moving on, we then have one of my favourite exfoliators by AlumierMD, the enzymatic peel. And this is quite a high power product for home care. It's essentially an at-home chemical peel. So how do you talk to your patients about the enzymatic peel?
I have patients who come in for regular peel sessions, and in between the sort of 3-4 weekly peel sessions that they have, I always mention the enzymatic peel as an at-home product that gives very similar benefits to a professional peel, but they'll be able to apply it from the comfort of their own homes. Like you say, this is a powerful at-home peel because it's got 10% lactic acid in there, but it's also got beautiful plant enzymes in there that will sort of, cleanse away at the skin and remove those dead skin cells. But this product, I kind of sell it as a product that you can use while you're relaxing in the bath, having a nice sort of evening for yourself, light some candles, get the water beautifully scented and hot. And whilst your body is being soaked in the bath, your face, once you've applied just a little layer of enzymatic peel, the ingredients can really be working powerfully on your skin and having a lovely at-home peel.
Now, that's how I like to use the enzymatic peel, because I do enjoy relaxing. So I like to slather it on when I get into the bath and sit back and relax. But one of the great things about the enzymatic peel is that if you've got a very busy lifestyle, you can, of course, put it on for 10 minutes and go and do other things. You could have the enzymatic peel on for 10 minutes while you're making up lunch boxes or doing a bit of ironing. It can be a multifunctional product for you that can work really well, no matter what your routine is like. So yeah, absolutely love the enzymatic peel. Now, this one does make the... Sorry, go on.
One other thing that I do mention to my clients is don't be frightened if you feel a little bit of a tingly sensation.
Yeah.
Because, those acids in the enzymatic peel are working deep down within the skin. And if your skin maybe is not familiar with the products, that tingling sensation is actually a good sign.
Yeah.
And you want to feel that there's some action going on there. And, and if your skin turns a little hue of pink, again, don't be worried. That's the product doing its job.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. We call it pink with purpose because that pinking is actually a sign that the microcirculation within the skin has been awoken, and it means that you've got fresh blood going to the skin and you've got toxins being taken away at the same time. So yeah, a little bit of pinking in the skin, a little bit of just erythema in the skin is a good sign. Yeah, absolutely. And that does fade with time, doesn't it? The more resilient your skin becomes to exfoliation. So just one last thing that it might be worth noting about the enzymatic peel is that we see lots of people on Instagram doing a really perfect panda eye application with their face masks and leaving a significant period in between their hairline and where the mask starts. And you do need to be quite careful of that if you're doing a mask where you kind of would peel it away, because you don't want to go over the eyebrow and risk taking out a few eyebrows. But actually, when you're using a mask like the enzymatic peel or a hydration mask, you almost want to feather it into the hairline and feather it into the eye line so that you don't get that demarcation line. Because, if you leave that 1 inch of skin in between your hairline and where the mask starts, and you're doing it 3 times a week, within time, we do see people as professionals that have just that little strip of pigmentation where that skin hasn't quite been cared for in the same way during a year that the face that's had the face mask applied on it has. And you really can tell the difference over time. So yeah, get savvy with your mask application and take it right the way out onto the earlobe and underneath the jawline as well, so that you're not creating that, almost like when you see somebody that's applied foundation poorly and you can see that line there. So really sort of bring it up underneath. And don't forget the underneath of the nose as well. That bit always gets missed. So a few pro tips there. Put it everywhere that you would wear foundation. Yeah, absolutely.
Well replaced. Yeah.
So then our last exfoliator, and this is a little bit of an underdog, really, because I think most people go for the sort of the scrubs and the toners and the at-home peels, but the AHA Renewal Serum is probably one
Yeah.
of our most effective and easiest to use exfoliators. I mean, it's just absolutely brilliant. So why don't you tell the people at home a little bit more about the AHA Renewal Serum?
So I love promoting the AHA in clinic. It's the big boy of serums and exfoliators. Super powerful because it's got some beautiful gentle acids in there, which work really deep down at cellular level. And this gets applied at night only, once you've cleansed your skin. And whilst you're sleeping, you're just getting all the benefits of this amazing product working for you. And all you do is wake up in the morning and cleanse your skin as per normal. And apply this product initially, maybe a few times a week till your skin becomes familiar with it. But the best results are when you apply it at least every night, up to sort of every night up to, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right. And also you can combine it with your retinol, can't you?
Yes.
And I mean, that's just absolutely fantastic, because whereas the AHA Renewal Serum will remove superficial skin, encouraging the production of new skin underneath, retinol will be working with the opposite mechanism of action, stimulating the new skin underneath and shifting the old skin off the top. So they work in harmony to just boom, 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 get that cell turnover working so quickly, shifting dead skin off the surface of the face so your makeup sits better, your products absorb better, you get that radiance, the skin reflects the light so that it looks radiant, it looks luminous, and literally all you've done is applied a serum. That's it. That's all you've got to do. So we heard that 85% of we've heard that 85% of people would exfoliate more often if it was as easy as applying a serum. And there you go. It just about can be. So one thing that we haven't spoken about, quite purposefully really, is individual recommendations for exfoliation. So sort of how many times or how often you should do it. And that really is because everybody's skin is different, isn't it? And everybody's exfoliation routine will be slightly different based on their skin type, their skin condition, their skincare CV. What have they been using up until now? Have they exfoliated before? So how do you go about educating your patients about how often they need to exfoliate? And what would you say to somebody that might be thinking of going to see a licensed skincare professional?
Okay, so for someone who would like to start exfoliating their skin, after I've explained the benefits of maybe a mechanical over a chemical exfoliator, I'd always say, listen to your skin, get to know your skin. It's so important that when you start using these medical grade type products, to not expect the products to work straight away. But, you can maybe sometimes feel just a little bit of a tingle, which is a really good action going on deep down within the skin. But introduce an exfoliator several times, maybe once or twice a week to begin with, until your skin sort of starts to get familiar with the product and you become more confident with the product as well. And then increase, for example, if you've got a sensitive skin, up to 2 times a week. But if your skin is more of a normal makeup type skin, then up to about 3 times a week.
Yeah, fab. And it would, of course, always be personalised. It would be hyper customised for the person that's in front of you seeking that skincare advice. And so if you're watching this at home and you feel like you'd like to up your exfoliation game, and you really want to engage in the type of effective exfoliation that we've mentioned tonight, reach out to one of our AlumierMD professionals, because they know the skin literally inside out. They can talk to you about what's happening on the inside of the skin, what's happening on the outside of the skin, and they'll know which product will be best for you and how you can make the most out of that product by using it in a way that will specifically help target your skin and your skin concerns. So you can find an AlumierMD professional by going to the clinic finder on the Alumier website. The link is on our Instagram, is in our Instagram bio. You can also go to our highlight on Instagram and have a look through people that have advertised their online consultations. And if you are already registered to the AlumierMD portal, but you're not yet incorporating one of the 4 exfoliators that you've heard about this evening, reach out to your Alumier professional and see how you can incorporate and increase the exfoliation that you're doing on a weekly basis to get those beautiful results that you've heard about. And if you're already registered and you want to buy one of those products, you can, of course, peruse the portal. So that leaves me only to say thank you very much to Rosy for joining us. It's been a pleasure to hear about all of the wonderful benefits that you've been able to achieve for your patients with effective exfoliation at home. Thank you very much to everybody that's been watching. And if you've got any questions, as always, please reach out to one of us. We're all here to help. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.